Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on our channel, our website, or our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing something special and splendid. 40 millimeters in platinum. This is the Journe Chronometre Souverain Black Label. We're going to talk about what that means in a moment, but first, 40 millimeters in diameter, 8.7 millimeters thick, 48 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's broad, it's flat, it's comfortable. As you can see, the overhead shot, plenty of clearance on both sides of my wrist. Flip, take a look at the cuff shot, easily slides underneath any dress cuff or sleeve, and then down the barrel. You can see that the watch leaves me with plenty of clearance on either side, so I could recommend this 40 millimeter watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. The strap is of high grade. As you can see, the strap here is an FP Journe factory strap, black, semi-gloss with large rectangular scale alligator leather, a folded edge, a monotone black stitch, curved spring bars, so it can be drilled very close to the case without any impediment to its motion. It also diminishes the daylight visible and the gap to create a more integrated appearance with the case. Now when you flip it over, you'll note there are pull tab spring bars that allow you to quickly and easily pop the strap off on both sides of the case. And then there's actually round scale alligator leather on the bottom where you'd normally find calfskin on a luxury watch strap. The gator on both sides means that the strap lasts longer. It's more durable, it's more expensive, but as I like to say, these watches are worth it. A simple matching platinum Journe branded pin buckle. Journe makes his buckles, he makes his bracelets, he makes his cases, he makes his dials, he makes his movements. And you can see that this case, featuring a lip from both bezel and case back, defines its mid-case as there's a recess that runs lug-to-lug with blended Calatrava-style lugs, albeit with a much sharper drop from the horizontal to the end of the tip. It's almost 90 degrees. The bezel is domed, so it easily slides underneath the sleeve. Everything is of high polish, and it features the Journe double dimple knurled crown. Now, truth be told, Journe makes his cases, he makes his bracelets, clasps, he makes his dials and movements, but this case was not made by Journe, and you're going to find out why that's important in a moment. On the dial side, the Chronometre Souverain is lovely, and if you look closely, you'll note that the watch has a simplicity and a power about it that explains why this platinum black dial design was reserved for the special black label watches, exclusives to FP Journe Boutique and Espace for those who have previously purchased FP Journe watches, and only 2 examples of each model can be made black label for year. So that is why this is the ultimate in exclusivity from Journe. 2 made per year and gloriously punchy. You have radially arrayed Arabic numerals. You have the classic Journe biomorphic hands at center in high polish rather than blued. And you can see that there's a power reserve indicator at 3 o'clock, and that power reserve indicator moves backwards. As you wind it, it approaches 0 because it's patterned after vintage marine chronometers, which had to be wound exactly every 24 hours apart. So it was more important to know how long since the last full winding than how many hours left until it stops. And that is why this 56-hour power reserve indicates 0 when fully wound. Flip it over, you can see there's a hobnail at the center of the dial on a railroad track outboard for the minutes. We have caliber 1304, which launched with the watch in 2005. The case here is made by Eleanor, and you can see that there are French and Swiss hallmarks as well as the Eleanor maker's mark. It's that diamond-shaped form next to the 2 French stamps. Between 1983 and 2008, FP Journe cases were made by Eleanor outside of Paris. From his pocket watch days to his wristwatch days, Eleanor was his standard provider, and these double hallmarked cases were a product of the French company until 2008 when he bought Eleanor and moved it to Geneva to become his case factory. So the same friendly faces, different location. Now the movement is rose gold, 22 jewels, 6 position adjustment, which is 1 more than the high horology and chronometer standard of 5. You can see the twin barrels driving the 56-hour power reserve, and there's actually no visible gear train between the barrels and the escapement. That's called the hidden train, and it runs underneath the dial side. So you wind up with a big, open, and beautiful movement whereby you have the 2 barrels, you have the escapement and the balance, and then you have this open space or gulf between them with a lovely radial satin finish across the base plate. You can also see that under the balance there is an engine turning for contrast, and then Côte de Genève across the bridges and plates all in 18 karat rose gold. The watch is free sprung for durability and precise adjustment, and it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour all of this 30 meters water resistant. You can see that there is a mirrored beveling on the edge of the bridges. The same treatment is rendered on the jewel and screw countersinks. Journe does not blue screws, at least not conventionally on most of his watches, so these are all black polished and quite handsome. Because the watch has a gold movement and a platinum case, though it's 40 millimeters, it winds up feeling as though it's quite a bit larger. The heft, the mass, it's impressive and impressively premium. If you want to own a watch of which only 2 examples could be made per year, and then only for cleared buyers, that is the Black Label. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.